In this video, we will continue to import models in FLUIDRAY, import models and scenes from different software, and we're using different files, trying to test different formats. So in the previous video, we talked about architecture, how to import architectural models from CAD or from BIM, so building information modeling like Revit or ArchiCAD, or we also saw SketchUp. And we will make more examples in this video right here, but we're gonna focus more on other topic like industrial design with rhinoceros or jewelry design with rhinoceros, and also we will see some other file coming from 3ds Max or from Cinema 4D or Blender. So these are all different software that you will find in our channel. You will find video courses, video lessons about this software right here. If you want, you can write comments, you can ask for assistance, you can make questions in the comments, or you can also give suggestions to other users. Now we're gonna concentrate more on Blender because Blender is open source, and also in SketchUp because SketchUp it's more compatible with FLUIDRAY. So you can try to import also 3ds Max files, Cinema 4D files, because FLUIDRAY supports these formats, but perhaps not every version of those. So you can always, if you want, if you don't have any of these files, you can always go in the resources, in the help section, you can download some of these files. I'm gonna make an example here first with a jewelry rendering with Rhino and FLUIDRAY that we can find again on the website. So I'm gonna save it in a folder. I'm going to extract it and then use it. So once it's downloaded, you can just extract. And once it's extracted, you can see here you have the 3DM format, which is from Rhino, and you have the FLUIDRAY project already. So we're gonna go for the 3DM so we can do all the steps together. So I'm gonna open up the 3DM file. Well, it's always an import. So I'm gonna go to import, navigate into the folder where I have extracted my 3DM, and there it is. I'm just gonna skip these windows for the moment. Now you can see here that everything looks with the same material. So we encountered this issue also before, but this doesn't mean that materials are not divided by material. So let's try first to drag and drop some of these materials from the FLUIDRAY library. So I'm gonna drag and drop this nice leader PBR material right here. Okay, so we can start to see something. Now we can start to see the ring there. And then let's apply some metal to this ring and let's see what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna use this gold-like metal right here. It's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna click and drag. This is gonna be like a scratched metal, so pretty realistic. Now you can see when I apply it, it's again only gonna apply on one single surface. So I'm continuing here to apply it. I can also apply different metals in different surfaces if I want, but since this is a classic ring, I'm gonna apply it to the same metal to all the surfaces. And again, with a simple object like this, it's gonna be really easy, really fast, not like a complex architectural model like Revit. So we can go there and assign little by little on all the different surfaces. But if we get closer here, we can see that this model actually has a lot of little elements that it's going to be really long to apply it doing this one by one, so by clicking and dragging and dropping. So what I'm gonna do here is just apply on everything, but first I want to apply also some nice gemstone material for this like little diamonds here. So if I go to glass, well, these are not actually gemstones, but I can apply also glass. But if I go into the gemstones, now it's pretty hard sometimes to find things in the library. We don't have a search, but there it is. So gemstone, and I'm going to click and drag again. And you can see that it only applied that on a single triangle. So it's gonna take like an infinite time if I don't just shift click and then select all by material. and then apply the material to the whole selection. So I'm going to show you again. This is really important, because even though this is a small object, it's containing a lot of details. So shift click, select all by the same material, and fortunately by importing with Rhino, it's gonna detect the differences of material, and then right click on the material and assign to the whole selection. And there it is. So I have assigned this yellowish gem to those elements. Now I can select again with by material, because they all have the same gemstone applied, and I can try with other gemstones. So right click and assign to selection. And now when I have this situation, it's really easy to change material and to test different materials until I find the one that I like. So I'm just gonna do like a little bit of test. Now they all look really dark because if I zoom out, I don't have an environment. So, and I don't have lights. So when I don't have environment, neither lights, everything is gonna be real dark. So this is why environments are used, and also emissive material is used. So again, I'm gonna select all these little elements here and select all by the same material and apply the gold material to everywhere it's supposed to be. And now it gets even darker. Now again, this is an issue concerning the reflections, because we are not reflecting anything around. The scene is completely black. So this is what we get when we use reflective materials like gemstones or metals. So to fix this, we have the environments. But first we can just see how it's gonna look, a nice emissive material applied on the floor here of this scene. So I'm going to select an emission, and again, sometimes it's really hard to spot the category that we're looking for. There it is. So emission. And so I can transform, I can turn that base into a light. And now I started to see something. I started to see that yellowish look of the metal, and I'm starting to see the gems. Now, since this is the only light, if I apply a color, that's gonna like override everything. So if you want to have a nice, strange neon look, you can apply a color. Otherwise, go for something more natural like this. And that's gonna be our first step. But we can start to see the gems, we can start to see the metal, the scratches on the metal, so everything is better now, but we need more lighting. So I'm gonna use an environment map. And to use an environment map, I will select something for an interior, first of all, not an exterior, but you could select it also an exterior if you want, depending on the look that you want to give. And in this case, I'm searching here for some studio HDRI, which is going to be perhaps more appropriate for industrial design rendering or like single object rendering. So I'm going to click and drag, and there it is. So I have now the background. If I move around, I can see the background all around my subject. If I get closer, I can definitely see now everything is looking better. So I can also continue to turn around. Now later on we will talk specifically about the environment and how we can set up, how we can customize them. Again, this is just a video concerning mostly the importing part. And we can see here that this model made with Rhino looks really, really realistic once we applied materials and background, some lighting. All the PBR materials are gonna look better. So this is a final render here with the blue gem, and just waited for a few minutes, and this is the result. So when I'm ready, I can save the image and just save it in a folder. So all you need to do is just wait. Once you get the nice angle that you want, the camera that you want, you can just stay there, wait for the rendering to process, to improve, and then you can save the image. Now there are many websites where we can get objects that we might want to try to render with FLUIDRAY. Now one of these is Render People. This is one of my favorite because it has a lot of free models that we can use to test not only simple materials, but also textures. Now, I'm gonna go for the 3D animated people, but I don't think that FLUIDRAY supports rigging or bones. So it supports some really basic animation from SketchUp, but not other forms of animation. So I'm gonna try here to download an animated character, but I think we can only use a static character, but let's download it. So I'm gonna click there. You can see various formats: 3ds Max, Cinema 4D, Maya, and always you will find FBX. So I'm gonna create a folder here, call it render people, and save this as a zipped file again, and I'm gonna open it when it's finished to download, and I will need to extract everything in order then to use it. Now, while the model there downloads, I just want to show you a couple of extra websites, and if you're interested, you will find video guides in the channel explaining to you how to use in details these websites. Now, first of all, TurboSquid, it has a lot of different models here. Again, in many different formats: 3ds Max, Maya, Cinema 4D, Blender, and also, well, the most important, Unreal Engine, Unity, OBJ, FBX. And the other one is Sketchfab. Sketchfab also, it's an amazing and huge library of assets uploaded by users that most of them are totally free, so you can download them and use them to test whatever render engine you want. You will find here shoes or any industrial design object that you want. You will find characters, vehicles. You can filter, you can search the downloadable and CC BY, CC 0, and you can download anything here. Now, usually when you use Sketchfab, you will find open source format like Blender or GLTF. In that case, you will need Blender to open them up and then export them into a format that will be readable by FLUIDRAY. So we now gonna extract the file coming from renderpeople.com, and I'm also gonna leave a link in the description to go directly to the renderpeople.com website, and I will just pick here the FBX. Now you can try with 3ds Max. You can see here you have also different render engines like Corona and V-Ray. You will find similar examples in the V-Ray video course, in the Corona video course. So check the video courses in the channel. And here I'm just gonna use the FBX because not every version of 3ds Max will work. Not every Cinema 4D file will work. Not every Maya file will work. So to make sure that everything is gonna work properly, you should try with OBJ and FBX. So you should always convert to OBJ and FBX. So I've tried here with the native file and it doesn't work. So I don't know why. Could be, you can see there, the format is not supported. So it could be anything, could be just the version is too recent. So I'm just gonna go for the FBX. And it's always giving me that message, don't worry, just say yes, and there it is. So the good news here is that we have the geometry of the model, we have the mesh, and we also have the textures. So usually when we use FBX and we export it correctly, we will find the materials and the texture applied. So we don't need to create our customized materials. We will find everything already in place. Now you can see this model is in this T pose or A pose because the animation is not working. So the bone system is not working. I can try to click on the animation button up there, but it's simply not working. So I need to, well, I can create animation here, but I cannot do it like this. There is a specific path to do this, and I'm gonna show you how, and it can be done, I think, only in SketchUp or with the use of compatible cameras. Now, if I go in the camera tab on the right, I can see there that I am only having here the perspective view. So this is not an actual camera. This is the standard perspective. Now, this scene here is from the video course in Blender that you can find again in the channel or in the in our private platform, and you can see that it has two types of animation. It has an animated camera and an animated car. So when I export this again in FBX, I can test if I can see then the animation of the camera at least. So I'm gonna export, I'm gonna make sure that I am exporting the bake animation. I'm gonna make sure that I am exporting lights, camera, whatever can be used in FLUIDRAY. So I'm gonna just save it as an FBX file again. I can try with Blender file, but also I believe that this doesn't support the most recent Blender. This is the newest version of Blender, and I don't think it's supported by FLUIDRAY. So when it's not supported, just go for the FBX. That's gonna be the most secure way you can import. So let's import, and I'm gonna import FBX. I've tried with the Blender file, it doesn't work with Blender 3, so perhaps they need to do some updates, and in that case I will just go for the FBX. Now it's taking some time because the scene is a little bit bigger and again has a lot of polygons inside, so I need to have patience, and there it is. Now that's my scene right there, and I can only see one material there, which I believe I created in Blender, which is the swimming pool there. The rest is not visible, so I need to recreate here all the materials, but I can see the camera. So if I go there, now I don't have only the perspective, I can also see the other cameras. And so I guess it's not working for the animation, so we cannot use cameras, Blender cameras for animation. So again, not any camera animation will be supported by FLUIDRAY. So we can make a test, we can see if it works. If it doesn't, you cannot do anything about it. Now, from what I experienced, I found out that this is gonna work with SketchUp. So if you have SketchUp and you know how to set up scenes and cameras, and by the way, if you don't know it, you can check our SketchUp video course. So here you can create cameras to save some point of views, but you can also create cameras for animation. So when you create more scenes, you can move from a scene to the other like in some sort of animation. So you can create animations with SketchUp. Now the only problem with SketchUp is again it's a render engine, which is really technical and not realistic. We can use V-Ray with SketchUp, or we could use FLUIDRAY. Now you can see here, these are 5 different scenes, and it also changing the technical look of those scenes. So you can create some nice technical animations in SketchUp, really simple, but you cannot create realistic effect. For that, we can use FLUIDRAY. So I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna open up the SketchUp file here, which is lesson 17 of the SketchUp video course. I'm gonna open it up. And there it is. So this is the main camera perspective. And if I move there, you can see that I have an imported camera. I have a camera copy and imported camera, which looks like the one that I have in SketchUp. And you can see now if I click on animation, it's gonna give me this panel. So yes, it recognized the imported camera. That's gonna be compatible. I can define a start scene here and a end scene. Now the problem is that it's detecting too many scenes here. I don't have those scenes in my original file, so I guess I need to go back and fix that. But let's see what's gonna happen here. Now I can change the resolution and the quality, which now is really low, so it's gonna be really fast, and also the frame per second. Now remember that the animation is a sequence of many renderings. So 25 frames per second means 25 renderings for 1 second of animation. And here something strange is happening, and this one here is good. And now it's gonna stay here for some reason. So something is not looking like it's supposed to. this is good. It's another animation that is inside SketchUp, and also this one here is fine. But there are some issues here, I think, because there are too many strange things in SketchUp. So I'm gonna make things a little bit simpler. I'm gonna open up the scene panel again. I'm gonna get rid of the scene 4 here. So I'm gonna eliminate scene 4 and eliminate scene 5. And I'm going to save these in another, and this is gonna be just this simple animation right here. So I'm gonna save everything again with another name. I'm gonna save this as 17B, and let's re-import into FLUIDRAY. So I'm gonna go back to FLUIDRAY, File, Import again, and select the new file which I've just saved, so 17B. And let's see what's gonna happen. Again, I'm gonna click on the animation button on the toolbar at the top next to the save image. And first I'm gonna go in the imported camera there in the camera tab. You can see I have the scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, so just those 3 scenes, and that's gonna be fine. So when I click on the animation button, I can set up the start scene, the end scene, and there you go. This is a simple animation of the camera. And this is all I can do right now in FLUIDRAY at the moment. Perhaps in the future they will also add some more functionalities for animated object as well. So this will be all for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, you can subscribe to the channel to check for more lessons and more courses later on. You can also support us if you want by joining the channel as a supporter. Now, so anytime that something doesn't work good, you can try with the native formats like SketchUp or 3ds Max or Rhino. And I think that Rhino and SketchUp work pretty fine. All the others, I think you need to check the version of that particular software that you're using. The most recent ones, I don't think they work well. Well, this is just the last tip. So again, please subscribe to the channel, join to support us if you want. Write in the comments your questions or also suggestions for other users. It's gonna be all for this video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next lesson.